All right. Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to be, or this week at least, I'll be finishing up talking about men's health. And today my focus is going to be on there's top killers, like the top main causes of death that are very prevalent in men. And there's a lot of things that people are overlooking that you can do. We hear a lot about different herbs, we hear a lot about different supplements, but there's more and deeper things that are being overlooked when it comes to men's health. And so that's what I'll be expanding on today. Okay. And so, top three killers for men, especially when you're in your 30s and 40s, is heart disease and cancer. Okay. And then the third one is usually things to do with like Alzheimer's and stroke. When you're younger, there's other things with homicides or whatever. But those are the three main medical causes of death. And if you take a look at this, these are actually chronic diseases. And so, what does the CDC say about chronic diseases? Over 80% of chronic diseases is due to toxin overload. I'm going to say it again so it hits a little bit. Over 80% of chronic diseases is due to toxin overload. So when you go to the doctor with any of your heart disease, blood pressure issues, cancer that might be forming in the body, why is detox not being brought up? If they know we know more than 80% is due to toxin overload. So that's one of the big things that is missing when it comes to things that you're overlooking that you can do to start to address the issue. Because the toxin overload is the issue. And the issue with men a lot of times is they overlook a lot of the simple things that they can do, especially with detox. Because detox, we want to kind of wait, and then things pile up in the body, and then we start having symptoms, and then the blood work starts being abnormal. That's when we want to act on it. But then we want to go online and say, okay, I can use this herb and I can use this over here and I can drink this tea. The problem with those things is that they're wonderful. But when you're having symptoms that are now showing and you're starting to see things in your blood work, you need deeper work. And while I don't really do prescriptions and medications in my clinic because I'm all natural and all holistic, okay, sometimes you might need it just to weather the storm while we start doing some work on you. But then you need some deeper, strong herbs, supplements, you need therapies to actually help the process. Okay. And for men, especially for men, the biggest toxin that is being overlooked is the mental and emotional. It's not being addressed. Men are not very good at talking about it, bringing it up, expressing those things. And so they keep it all inside and it starts to build up. So the first thing for men, and this is known across the globe, and especially we see it in a lot of Black men, okay, a higher disease rate in all of these categories, heart disease, cancer, than all ethnicities, and more so than women, okay, but also men, okay, is addressing the mental and emotional aspect and how you're working through it. A lot of times it's being avoided because, you go out for some drinks and wings, see how that's going to help. You want to, go hang out with the boys, go to the man cave. That's how you deal with the mental and emotional stuff. Listen, that's why the blood pressure starts to come up. And now I'm seeing young boys, young men, not even 20, with blood pressure issues. A common theme, now if this is you, listen very carefully. A common theme I see with people that have blood pressure issues when they're young is that they had a traumatic event that happened to them when they were younger. And it doesn't have to be anything major, sexual molestation or physical abuse. Those things are important. But there's an emotional trauma that was not really addressed that has found its way to sit in your body. And the nervous system is working with that trauma in the background. And when it's doing that, that's how the blood pressure is, you're getting high blood pressure issues and heart disease of all sorts of things. Now, other toxins we want to pay attention to that we're not really cognizant with is electromagnetic frequencies. We talk about heavy metal toxicity. Aluminum is everywhere. And that's one of the issues with even things like Alzheimer's disease. We have a lot of aluminum, a lot of heavy metals, even the prescription drugs you're taking for a long time. Okay. And that's why even prescription medications has been shown to be one of the top issues with actual causing disease in the body as well. That's been shown even with research. All right. Other things you can do when it comes for detoxification, as far as, yes, you want to address the mental and emotional stuff, you want to be able to use sauna therapy. I talked about that in one of my former videos and all the benefits that come with it, the type of sauna you need to use, and the light therapy that can be included to make that even better. Okay, drinking lots of water helps to flush out toxins. That's actually a way of detoxing that people aren't aware of. Okay, what type of water? People ask me, is it alkaline water? Like what type of water? Now it depends on how acidic the body is. And that's something with our check medical scan we're able to tell, because acidity in the body is a big deal. If your body's very acidic, it's going to be not so easy to detox the body. Okay, and it breeds chronic disease, it breeds cancer. Okay, so those are things you want to think about. And then with detox, another thing that people are overlooking that's a big deal, not everybody's body detoxes properly. There are people that need specific vitamins and minerals so that their body's actually able to detox. And that is a big deal. That's why I test everybody that comes into my clinic for this. And so we can get them the specific vitamins and minerals, because that's all it takes. Specific vitamins, minerals, and the right dosing, and your body is able to detoxify. I don't call it a disorder. I look at it as we just haven't been able to identify that people are different, including in their blood work results, what's normal, what's abnormal is different for everyone. So just because everyone's blood work looks one certain way doesn't mean that that's fine. They need certain vitamins and minerals to help detox. And sometimes that's called, if you go on to Google that a little bit, read up a little bit about undermethylators, then you'll be able to see that. All right. Now, the next thing I want to talk about that's being overlooked is breath work and relaxation. Breathing. I know you're like, what are you talking about? 99% of the patients I've come across, not just in my clinic, but as an anesthesiologist dealing with trauma, dealing with people that come in for surgery, okay, they're not breathing well. And when I breathe with them, because I'm a breathwork practitioner, their blood pressure comes down. And now there's research to show that breath work, especially if it's a specific technique that's going to help that person that's used, okay, can bring the systolic pressure down by as little as 5, but as much as 50 points. Okay, so that's talking about, let's say your systolic blood pressure supposed to be normal is like less than 120/80. Let's say you're sitting at like 180, which is like, that's like almost stroke levels, right? Breathing can bring that down to almost 130. I had a young chap today, less than 20 in the clinic, and he had high blood pressure. He's not even 20. This is a problem. If you're starting at that age with high blood pressure, what's going to happen? We took his blood pressure. It was almost 140/97. Did some breath work with him, and it came down to 126/67. 120, normal. It was normal. And so for him, this is something so simple that is being overlooked is breathing. And so putting these breathing techniques, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 10 minutes at bedtime, is going to start to reset his nervous system. And that'll help with his blood pressure. And that also helps with heart disease. There is now research that is showing breath work and how it helps with heart disease. So that's another thing that's being overlooked, is how you're breathing, because that all plays into relaxation, plays into how the nervous system is responding, especially when there's background stress. Okay, so all these things that are being overlooked are things that you can do that are very simple, very easy, that you can start taking your health into your own hands to start helping, because these are, again, the main causes of death, medical causes of death in men: heart disease, cancer, okay? Chronic diseases. You want to detox. You want to address the mental and emotional component. You want to address any traumas, because those things in the background are the biggest issue. And especially for men, they don't like to talk about it. They haven't been taught how to discuss it. They haven't been taught how to effectively cope and deal with it. And that translates into all these heart diseases that we see with them, okay? And breathing. And you've heard a lot about all the other things when it comes to nutrition and health with heart disease and cancer: processed foods, fried foods, salty foods. You want to take all those things out of your diet, more fresh fruits, vegetables. Beets are good things that you would have for heart health. Magnesium is a big deal because low magnesium actually causes a lot of high blood pressure issues. And the American soil is very depleted of magnesium. So yes, a magnesium supplement regularly would be something that would advise most people to take. Usually very harmless. Can you have magnesium toxicity? Rarely. You have to take a lot of it. Okay. But that's why it's used in pregnant women when they have high blood pressure. They use magnesium to bring their blood pressure down. Other nice foods for heart health and blood pressure and circulation would be things like asparagus. Okay. And then when we're talking about things like cancer, things that you can include would be things that are more alkalizing for the body. Cancer loves acidic environments, and you want to take things that are alkalizing. So nice, good source of water. We want fresh fruits, vegetables. I always say go organic. They may still have some pesticides, but they're a lot lower than conventional produce anyway. All right, so I think I touched on a lot of things when it comes to men's health. Simple things you can do that are being overlooked. Sometimes we just want to head for a supplement or, an herb when we can do some of these other more simple things and develop it as a new habit. And we prevent a lot of things, and you save yourself a whole lot of money too. All right. Well, y'all have a wonderful, blessed night. Take care.